Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to Market Mornings with Rob, brought to you by wealthbuildershq.com. I hope you are ready for a rocking day, baby, because it looks like that's what it's going to be. Woo, morning, say, hey, how are you? Oh, yeah, I am excited. Today's looking like a really good day, guys. Looks like a good trading day setting up. I am stoked. So let's go ahead and jump in. Keep in mind that everything we look at today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is meant to be advice or recommendations. Okay, so with that being said, I want to start off this morning, as we normally do, with our futures. All right. So ES, well, we can't just look at the ES today. You can't. You can't. Not on a day like yesterday. You just can't. Right? Powell opens his mouth and immediately the market starts to rise up. We take a little bit of a rest in here, not long afterwards, and then the skyrocket right into the close. Wonderful. We opened up on the ES then, on the SP 500 overnight session. We just kind of went sideways, right? And then we got to about 2 a.m. We got a little bit of a pop. The European market has driven things up. We've pulled back a little bit now, but man, we're still rocking right now. We are up 31 points on the ES right now. Thank you, Fed. You know, we're going to stop buying back assets. They talked about 3 interest rate hikes for next year. I forget if it was 2 or 3 for 2023. I think it was 3 more for 23. He didn't mention anything crazy about half-point increases, which would be dumb, in my opinion, if they were to do that, to go to half-point. But market liked it. They like it a lot today. So life is good, right? We look at the Dow. We're up 229 points, a little bit off our highs, but very similar pattern. It's certainly when Powell spoke yesterday, the same pattern. And on NQ, pullback has been a little bit steeper, but still nothing crazy. We're up 91 points on the NQ right now. I'll take it all day long. I'll take 100 points on NQ. Right? On the RUT, we've got a nice rise. They've actually held most of their gains for the day. They really haven't given back like some of the others have. We're up 28 points on the RUT. All of my iron condors are doing well. Bitcoin, they had the same exact pattern yesterday that we did with everything else in the market, except in the overnight session, we slid a little bit. We ran back up, couldn't quite make the tops again, and we've fallen down a little bit. This little pullback in here is probably a little shelf or support area that we're looking at on Bitcoin. That puts us at about 48,150-ish on the bit. Excuse me. Gold. All right. We are up nicely on gold, about 24 points. Good rise. Everything's just up, man. It's just go up. Everything's got to go up. Let's see. TradeStation said that something is incorrect on data, so let's fix it. All right, and we did. So we had a rise yesterday in oil. We went up to about 71.5, just shy of it. Today we've gotten up as high as about 72, and we've backed off a little bit. We're still up 67 cents a barrel. Right, a little higher than I'd like it to be, but we're okay. I'm actually seeing oil prices come down a little bit by us. So one gas station yesterday on my way to my favorite store, Home Depot, seems to be, that was at $3.29. I am seeing a lot of gas stations now are going back to, here we had a lot of them were just doing cash, credit, same price, are now going back and rewarding you if you pay cash and having a lower price on cash. So when we look at nat gas, we're up 2.5% on nat gas. So overall, not too bad. All right. So next in our step here is two steps. So Jonathan said, so your iron condors aren't day trades. Oh no, Jonathan. No. The iron condors I do on the RUT go out 60 days and then they go out 30 days. We look 30 and 60 days out in time. So absolutely. And we do these in Covered Call Explorer. And guys, if you want to know how we do some of this stuff, there's a free training coming up. It's the last one. Ironically, it is today. Right? So Sean, can you drop that link in there? It's called Covered Calls Uncovered. We're going to go into covered calls, naked puts, iron condors, diagonal spreads, and what I call Wheel of Fortune, which is my favorite way of trading the market, is Wheel of Fortune, my retirement market. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at some trades from yesterday. And what I'd like to know is, what trades have you done? What trades did you do? Drop them in, whether they were trades that we shared with you. I'd love to hear about those, of course. Drop those in. And then anything that you did yesterday on your own period, how'd you do? Did you make money? Did it go against you? Funded, non-funded, doesn't matter. Go ahead and drop it in. We've got 3 companies from yesterday. So I had check marks next to 4 of them. I had them next to. Downgrade was on Domino's. We had Lilly, UPS, and then I think it was Kevin gave us Roku yesterday, right? Which I didn't catch, but we talked about what we were looking for, okay? So on Eli Lilly, if we go and look at Lilly, on Eli Lilly, and let's see, Alan said, position 1 in the chair yesterday. There you go, Alan. Position number 1 is this, for those of you that don't know, right? I'm just kind of sitting back, can't really reach the keyboard, can't do any damage from back here, waiting for the Fed to jump out and do their thing, right? Eli Lilly had great news come out on it yesterday. We were looking at a bull put spread. We talked about this. They raised profits for their 2022 forecast. We talked about this being below 252.5 is what we're looking for the spread on. I wound up with the 250, 252.5 bull put spread at 70 cents was the credit we were able to get on Eli Lilly. So that's $70 per contract on a 250 spread. It gives me about $150, $130, whatever it is, $180 in risk in that trade. So overall, for the $70 that I make, overall, really good deal. UPS, I said it yesterday, I'm a big fan of UPS, FedEx announcements at this time of year. We did UPS yesterday got an upgrade from Citigroup. I said we were looking for a bull put spread below 204. I did the 202 half, 200. We were able to get 40 cents credit on that. That one, it came up and then closed lower than it opened, right? So that spread, we're underwater about 3 cents right now. We can get out of that trade at 43 cents, I think it is right now. So we'll keep our eye on it. I mean, it expires today. As long as we stay above 202 half, it expires tomorrow. 202 half, we're good. Roku, we actually had 2 trades on Roku. So on Roku, I talked about a bear call spread above 217 half. And then, of course, for me, I'm always looking at Roku. I always look at calls and puts on anything that's on my power option plays list, my 20 stocks that I trade. So on Roku, right out of the box, we did the 220, 222.5. So I said above 217.5. 220 is what we sold. 222.5 is what we bought. And we were able to get $1.15 credit on that spread. Crushed it is an understatement on Roku, right? So if we look, if we go to the book, let's see. Bear call spread, my bad. Sorry, just kind of flopping around here. I got my trying to talk and read at the same time. 220, 222.5 is the bear call spread we're looking for. 22.5 is right here, right? We got $1.15 credit. We can wind out of that trade right now at 25 cents. So that would give us a 90-cent credit, 90-cent profit on that 250 spread. Great setup. We also looked at Roku for a put option. We looked at the 220 puts, just directional trade on there, right? So single trade, 220 on the put side is trading right now at 18.90. When we did these yesterday, guys, we looked at Roku yesterday. When I looked at it yesterday, right out of the gate, that option, the 220 put was about $8.50, right? We sold some of it as it got near the $200 level at $20.50. And I don't remember where that was. Close to 11 o'clock, I think, right over here. We sold half of the position there. And then our next support level on Roku. And guys, understand, this is not bragging. That's not what this is. This is to help you see what you should be looking for every single day as you take these candidates. Guys, I don't know anybody else that's doing something like this. No one is telling you, here's the ones to take and how, right? And then we come back and go over what you should have done had you not. So we got out of some of it just above the 200, 189.24. We got out about 192, I think it was. We got out of the second half of our trade. We had a low yesterday of 190.23, so plenty of room in there. And the second half of the trade was about 25 bucks on that. So we crushed it with getting in at $8.50 and getting out of some of it at 25 bucks, right? We did fantastic. Let's see. There you go. Kevin said, just want to thank you for the insight on Roku. You told it perfect. Thank you, sir. Excellent. I hope you crushed it on there, Kevin. I really do. Sean said, glad I closed out my bearish trades yesterday. Didn't want to manage them while out of the office. Would have been screwed on them with today's moves. Understand. Let's see. Jonathan said, today I put RL 2 days ago. Excuse me, puts on RL 2 days ago. Closed out yesterday for a tidy profit. Closed out AMC's bear call spread for 18 cents. Still sitting on the GME bear call spread for $1. Great profit on United Healthcare. Jonathan, great job. Love hearing it. Hey, Robert, how are you doing, sir? MasterCard sold a bear call, bought back, sold position. When the price broke up at the end of the day, the price trailing stop on the call, plan to break even or take profits this morning if the market continues up today. Well, it's looking your direction for sure this morning, Robert, so great job. Still sitting on Dell puts, underwater for now. Yeah, and with the market bouncing today the way it did after Fed, very possible that we're going to deal with some of that for the next couple of days. So excellent. I appreciate you guys jumping in there. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at today's candidates. All right, so let me bring up our template that has the pre-market in it. Now we'll switch over to today's sheet. And most of our stocks today are weekly options, not monthly, which is good, right? So the first one is ACN. Now, ACN had earnings come out. They're up $35. I guess the earnings were good, right? They're sitting at $410 right now. They do have monthly options weekly options available on them. So I'll be looking at a bull put spread on this. I just don't know if we're going to get what we're looking for. We'll come back and check this one after with this bigger move it's had, but I like a bull put spread on ACN. All right, that's the first one. DAL, Delta Airlines. Guys, I am a big fan of it. I like Delta Airlines for their service, for their flight. That's who I fly. I've gotten stuck before. When 9/11 hit, I was in Seattle. I was on JetBlue, and flights are canceled, of course, and they told me it would be almost 2 weeks before they can get me on a flight. So I wound up buying another ticket on Delta and got home on 1 day later. Then when I called them on that Tuesday. So I like Delta Airlines for that. I like their CEO. I think they're a well-run organization. I like that they didn't vaccine mandate and all that good stuff, right? And they still have 97% of their people are vaccinated. So they did it the right way without forcing people to go through that. Well, which, by the way, I saw yesterday that Google is talking about firing people if they don't get vaccinated. There's a company in Florida that I follow. A gentleman, his name is Grant Cardone. He's a multi-billionaire in real estate. And he put an ad out on Instagram yesterday that said, hey, Google, we'll hire you. Come work for us. We've got locations all over the world, 8 or 9 locations they've got. So, there are companies that are going to be willing to pick up this great talent that you don't want to have any longer. So go for it. Well, with that, again, I like Delta Airlines a lot, right? They are $37 stock. So here's the first one I'm going to be looking at is a naked put. I'm also going to be looking at a bull put spread. But if I took it in order of preference, it would be a naked put, it would be a diagonal spread, and then it would be a bull put spread. So if we look at naked puts on Delta, I don't know what we'll get today, and we certainly want to look at the chart and see where they're at. So they're sitting 34.65 as of yesterday's close. They're at 37.5 right now. So they've moved up above the 8. We've got a higher low setting up in there. Caution, we do have earnings coming out in there. So the naked put is the one that's a little bit better than diagonal for me, right? But the earnings are still January 12th. So we're a little close. We're looking at earnings out right now after the 5th. So we're still okay for a diagonal, but I think we're just going to start off with naked put on it. So, and they did raise forecasts for next year. They said they will be the only U.S. airline and only one of 2 worldwide that will be profitable in 2022. So that says something for them right there. Long term, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So what are we looking at? Let's go look at the options here. If I can get something that keeps me above that 8 moving average, which is, below 37, we're good. But when it comes to puts, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a delta of 20 as my bare minimum when I sell puts. So right now I've got a delta of 25 is probably the best I'll get. Now that'll change a little. So if I can get 40 cents for the $36 puts while we're at 37.5, I'm all over it. I love it. So I'm going to look at the $37 put. For credit spreads, it would be the bull put spread, right? So we'll be looking down below that 37. Now these are options that expire tomorrow. You may get better off by looking at next week, but this is what expires tomorrow. So if we're looking down below that 37, if you go 37.6, you got 44 cents. If I go to the 35.36s, I could pick up 24 cents on it. So 35.36. We're not going to do diagonals on it just because of the earnings coming up. So we're going to just be a little more cautious with that earnings. But I love that these guys have come out with some good numbers that they're talking, right? Sean said Caro was hit with a ransomware attack. Ooh, curious to see if that had KRO. I'll take a look at it, Sean. Absolutely. So from there, you got ISRG. They got a Goldman Sachs upgrade, right? They don't trade pre-market very heavy. Never have, never will. So there is weekly options available on it. I'm just switching back over to single. The bid-ask spreads are a little bit wide, but they're always that on them. So we're looking at this as a bull put spread. As a $300 stock, buying a call option on this is a little bit costly. So we're going to just look at it for that. Right? Lennar, L-E-N, is next. So Lennar had earnings come out. You could tell without me giving you numbers, it wasn't good. Okay. So they closed at about 114, 13, whatever it was yesterday. They're sitting at 107 right now. They're down $6.50. So we're going to look at a long put on here and a bear call spread. So let's go take a look at Lennar. Now they had their earnings scheduled, so there's bigger bid-ask spreads. That's kind of a given, right, with their earnings. If we're looking at it as of today, as of yesterday, now remember, we're down $6 in the pre-market. So these numbers may not completely reflect it. If we look at a bear call spread, we want to go back to the daily chart and find out where they've been. So right now they're down about $6, so 112, they're at 106. So they're just below this now. So I want to be above 109. I'm just writing my notes. Hopefully you are as well. I want to be above 109 on that. So let's go find out what we've got. So on a bear call spread, now again, we've moved from where we were yesterday. We're $6 difference. So 109 at plus 6 is about 115. So we were looking at, my bad. Let's see. Yeah, so about 115. All right. So let's look at it based on what we saw from yesterday, and then we'll back it out from there. So if we go over to vertical spread and we go above 109, so 109, 110, we could have got 90 cents. We go to 115, 16. It looks like if numbers hold where they are now, for the 115, 116, we might pick up about 30 cents, right? If that's the case, if I can get a $1 spread and get 30 cents on it, white on rice, baby, all over it. Love it, love it, love it. I will take this trade if I can get that kind of premium for it. And then you can also just look at buying a put option, and I'd be looking for intraday, right? So I'm looking for that 65 to 85 delta with a minimum of 100 open interest. So the 108s were $6. If you go $6 further in the money, right? 8 and 6 is 14. They would cost you about $4 right now, give or take. 380 is the mid price. Okay. And this is news that doesn't look like it's going to, subside. So that was real strong hit. So if we can get a continuation push down below this, you might want to go ahead with a put option. And you can go longer. If you're looking at this as a longer term trade, go out at least 30 days. All right. But for me, I like the bear call spread better. NVS, which is Novartis. Wow, what a move, huh? Look at that gap. Good continuation move. Monthly options. Okay, now what? Well, we'll look at it. What do we do? But it's the last on my list today. I got nothing else to trade. They're the ones that I go to. By the way, as I'm going ahead and getting to the end of my list here, guys, tell me the stocks you want me to look at. I mean, this way I give you a couple minutes. So if you've got details you want to put in at it, I'm looking at a bull put spread. I'm looking at a put on this or a condor or whatever it is. Drop it in so I can then go and analyze what you guys are looking for and do it the best that I can for you. All right. So we're looking at a bull put spread on NVS. Right. Again, not my favorite candidate, but definitely one for us to look at. Shopify. Right. They rock, man. $1,400 stock. They are up $47 right now. I don't trade directionally normally on this stock, right? And a big part of it is just cost, right? I think that I would rather trade in Amazon, a Chipotle, a Google, even a Booking over a Shopify. I don't like it as a trading company to go directional, to have a credit spread. If I can get what I need for credit wise, absolutely. So if we look at Shopify and we're up $47 right now. Just move that on the other page there so it's easy for me to see when I say other page. I've got 6 monitors on this system. So, hey, Debbie, good morning. Glad you made it. So let's see. We are at 14.15 right now. So there's 11. So we would need to be doing a bull put spread below 14.11. Better would be below 13.70, we'll call it. All right. So let's see what we can come up with. We'll flip this over to vertical. First one was 14.11. So that's basically going to be 14.10, 14.05. So as of yesterday, it's $3.95. So we moved $45. So that would be 50. So, well, I mean, it's still showing big money in there. So I don't know if this is adjustments in, oh, well, that's why. 3 by $13. Minus 380 by $13. So that's a almost $17 bid-ask spread in there. So we'll see. But I can't give you a for instance, but that's the numbers, that 14.11. Again, 13.70 would be the better one. I just don't believe we're going to get any premium for it. That would be like the bomb if we can get down to 13.70, 65s. Big option chain. 70, 65s. That would be great. I just don't know. And that's all because of where the position falls on the chart. We're up in here right now. If we can get, we're right here actually. So down below here is okay. Down below that next fib line where we came from is awesome, right? It is basically called a gap spread. It's a trade that I developed for this. And there's a very high probability of failure on that spread, meaning failure, meaning the market expiring this option is worthless. If we can get down below that 13.67, it winds up a 2 standard deviation move as well. So that pushes the envelope a little bit there, right? So we're looking at bull put spread, and then Visa came out with a share buyback, right? Which is why NVS was up, was a share buyback. Company comes out and says, we're buying back our own shares. We think they're cheap enough that it's worth it to take it off the market and we'll get the gains internally. Now, keep something in mind. The company never has to buy one share back. They're just telling you that they're starting or adding to an existing buyback program, right? So, but they don't ever have to buy the shares back. So that's something to be cognizant of, but we don't care. Buy it back, don't buy it back. I'm looking at it as a today trade, right? We're up $1.55, so we'll be looking at a bull put spread on this. Possibly a call. My call would be at least 60 days, at least 30 days out in time. So when I look at these setups, guys, DAL, 3 check marks are going next to DAL, Delta Airlines. Lennar, 3 check marks going next to Lennar. Visa, actually Shopify, 3 check marks going next to Shopify. Visa, I'm going to put 2 check marks next to Visa. The problem is my symbol, my letter V, looks like my check marks. So I got to be careful. Yeah, it's not neat handwriting, guys. Here. Not neat at all. All right. Yeah. So Sean had brought up KRO. Let's go take a look at that and see what the heck is happening there. So I'm looking at a hash mark down here, Sean. It looks like they don't trade overnight, I guess, in the aftermarket. Monthly options available only. Yeah, you can see no change there in price, even though we've got a hash mark down here, right? A couple of them there. They're not trading in the open market. So one to keep on the list, Sean. And that was ransomware. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens there. All right, so let's take a look at the candidates you guys put out there. Wasn't a whole lot from you guys. Let's see. Debbie put out HPQ, right, which is Hewlett. Let me go change my option chain around. I don't need all those options. So right now, it's up 14 cents. So really nothing happening on it news-wise or pre-market-wise, I should say. So Debbie, I like where it is. Let's go and draw a fib. Right in here. So we're at 36.40. 36.01 was our 8 moving average. We're above there. We got 36.64. There's a resistance at right now, Debbie. So a little bit of caution. You know what? Actually, no. Let's do this. The fib is too small there. So let's do a hiccup fib. All right, here's our hiccup right in the middle. Good move. There's a little hiccup and the run. All right, so let's do it on this one. Okay, better. And the reason was we were too tight. The numbers between the two fib lines were too small. If they're less than $1, the fib really doesn't have a lot of value to it. And we're looking at 33.64 to 34.57. A little bit small. So we opted for this one. All right. So Debbie, I like the move. Do we need a fib it in here? Let's see. So we're looking at $1.12 a day. So 2.25. There's 5.5, 6.5, 7.5. Yeah, we need a fib it in here. So let's apply the fibbits, and then we'll go back and look at the moving average. So we're going to add a negative 136, and we're going to add a 118. Okay, so we're looking at 37 as your first resistance, Debbie, and 38.5 is the next one. All right, so I hope that helps. Roman's asking for Netflix. Good morning, Roman. And it is morning by you, right? Early morning by you in Seattle there. So Netflix took a little bit of a bounce yesterday, as everybody did, off of that blue zone there. If we go and look at Netflix, let's see where we are pre-market. So we're down about $2.50. Okay. Which puts us at 602.5. So we're still right in that zone, Roman, right? We're still right up here in that zone. So for me, it's still bearish. Look at the moving averages. We turned to true bear yesterday. So break the 597, retest and fail. What do we got? 35. So 68, 78, 89, 80, 30. I don't need a fib in there. Yeah, I don't need a fib in there. But Roman, with as strong a market as we have today, if it does get the break, I would use a fib as my first exit. I wouldn't hold on for the whole run. And I know you don't do that anyway, but let's see. Kevin said, I bought Snow at about 248, looking for 262-ish. What are your thoughts? Let's take a look. Hope it helped, Roman. Let's see. So you wrote, so Snow right now is at 357. So I'm guessing you've been, I'm guessing you did it at the 300. If you bought it at 248, you're crushing it. Okay. You did awesome. Yeah, Evelyn, I'm looking forward to the training this evening as well. I'm excited. Can't wait. So where are we in pre-market? So help me out. 348. Okay, Kevin, 348. So you got it at 348 and you're looking at 362. So I see 377. Well, 361 is my resistance there. So we hit it yesterday. I mean, we hit the high yesterday of 361.71. So we got your 362 level already. So from there, I mean, if you're in this trade and you're at resistance, if you've got multiple contracts, you may want to sell half off if we pull back today. Let's go look at what it's doing real quick. Yeah, see, we're down $8.50 right now on it. And that comes in. See, that's how powerful fibs are, folks. The Fibonacci told us yesterday there's a resistance up there. We also have a confluence of the 8 and the 21 moving average line sitting right there as well, right? Right in that zone, all right together. We bumped our head on there, and now we're back $8. I don't know what the news is on snow, but we're down $8.50 to 351.88. So a little bit of caution there, Kevin. You've got to determine if you're willing to hold out on that, right? But yesterday was definitely the out, at least of part of the position. For me, I'd be out of the second half of the trade today. You've got to make that call of whether it fits your risk or not. So, all right, Robert, we'll wrap it up with MasterCard. So Visa moving up today was a share buyback. So you can't look at it as industry standard. That's not MasterCard. There we go. So MasterCard is in a neutral bias right now. Where are they in pre-market? They're up $2, 348, right? So they're up in here. Do I need a fib it? 39 to 52, 13 points? No, I don't. So, Robert, we're already at midpoint here. So caution on anything new on an entry. If you're already in, we're looking at 352 as resistance. Unless you could find a pivot point or something intraday to grab it as a potential opportunity for entry, I would just be a little cautious. But 352 is resistance. You may want to consider about that 350 level because that's where we fell the last time as your target, right? Yeah, good, Kevin. Kevin said I've had weeklies on that they expire in 2 weeks. I'll watch them today. Yep, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of a service announcement. We are basically going to shut down for the next 2 weeks for the holidays. I don't really do a whole lot in there. It's all family time for me. I'll be doing some things next week. Some of the commitments I have, like power option plays, covered calls, that'll all go off as scheduled. Of course, Christmas and New Year's are holidays, so that's not going to happen. But so we'll be back again in the beginning of the year. I don't know what that is. 1, 2, 3, something like that, January 3rd. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Folks, make sure you show up tonight at our covered calls uncovered. And I will see all of you. Sean, drop that link in one last time. I will see all of you at our next update. All right. Take care, folks. See you soon. Bye.